Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about an R-Shiny app that can be used to review data in oncology studies. So this is based on one of my papers presented in PharmaSUG China in 2021. So before we look at the app, let's do a quick review of the Resistor criteria 1.1. So in this slide in the screen, we are looking at overall response. So let me enlarge this one. Okay, so there's a table here. In the first three columns, you can see we have target lesions, non-target lesions, and the new lesions. So these are like input variables. The last column is overall response. This is like the output variable because the overall response is determined by the values in the first three columns. So in the R-Shiny app, we are going to draw a scatter plot for these four variables over time. And users of the Shiny app can review the scatter plot and determine if the overall response is correctly derived from the first three columns. Okay, here we review some criteria that are used to derive the target response from tumor data. The first one is if the sum of diameter is 0, the response is CR. So in the Shiny app, we're going to draw a line plot for the sum of diameters. Next rule, else if percent change from baseline in sum of diameters is less than or equal to -30, the response is PR. So in the Shiny app, we are going to draw a percent change from baseline in sum of diameters, and that line plot will be used to verify this criterion. The next rule, else if sum of diameter is not missing, response is SD, else let the response be NE. The next rule is about the PD. So this rule is going to override the results we derived from the first four rules. So this rule says if the percent change from nadir in sum of diameters is greater than or equal to 20, and the absolute change from nadir is greater than or equal to 5 millimeters, the response is PD. So to verify this criteria, we're going to do two line plots. One is for the percent change from nadir in sum of diameters. The other one is the absolute change from nadir in sum of diameters. So in total, we're going to have 4 line plots in the R-Shiny app. There's also a note here. It says that if the target response can be CR, even if the sum of diameter is not 0, as long as the non-zero result is from pathological lymph nodes with short axis less than 10 millimeters, our Shiny app is not going to be able to handle this last note. Okay, so let's look at the Shiny app. Okay, so in the Shiny app, you can see we're gonna need a few packages. We need a Haven package for reading SAS data. We need a Shiny dashboard and Shiny to set up the app. We need a ggplot2. This will be used to do the figures. And we need a grid extra. So recall that we're going to have 4 line plots in the Shiny app. We will use this grid extra package to arrange those 4 plots in a 2x2 pattern. Okay, so let's run this app. Okay, so in the sidebar you can see there are 4 tabs. We need to input the Csv file first. So before we upload the Csv file, let's take a look at the file. So the Csv file, there are 2 columns. The first column is the dataset name. The second column are the conditions that will be used to get a subset of the dataset. So if you look at the row for the ADRS, you can see the conditions. The condition means that we want to look at the central review data. We want the acceptance flag to be Y, and we're going to need 4 parameters. So those parameters are for the overall response, targeted response, non-target response, and new lesion. If you look at the row for the ADTR, you can see the conditions are that we want to look at the central review data. We wanted the analysis flag to be Y. We wanted the parameter CD to be sum diam, and we wanted the acceptance flag to be Y. Okay, now we can go back to the app. Let's upload the CSV file. Okay, next tab is to input the response data, ADRS. So let's do that. The next tab is to input the tumor data, ADTR. So let's do that. And finally, we have a response plot. Okay, so once you click on the response plot, you can see we have a drop-down menu where you can specify those patients. And you have some empty space for different figures. So let's look at some patients. So you can see when we choose different patients, we got those different figures. So let's look at this patient, 0007. Okay, the first plot is the scatter plot for the response. In the y-axis, you can see we have targeted response, we have overall response, non-targeted response, and new lesion progression. And the scatter plot is over time since the start of treatment. Let's look at the last time point. This is about month 15. Okay, so you can see the target response is a PD, the non-targeted response is a PD, and the new lesion is no, and the overall response is PD. We can go back to the Resistor criteria and verify this is correct. So you can see this row. The target is PD, non-targeted can be any value, and the new lesion can be yes or no. The overall has to be PD. So the result is correct based on the criteria. Okay, and now we can look at the 4-line plots. So you have the sum of diameters here. The value is over 35, so it's not 0. So the target response is not going to be CR. If we look at the next one, percent change from baseline in sum of diameters. So you can see the percentage is less than -30. So it looks like the target response should be a PR based on the criteria, but it's not. It's not PR. The reason is because of the next two plots. So this one changed from nadir in sum of diameters. You can see the absolute change is over 5, and the percent change from nadir in sum of diameters, it's over 20. So based on the criteria we saw in the slide, the rule 5. So this patient meets the rule 5 in that last time point. So his targeted response has to be PD. So you can see based on the tumor data, we can conclude the target response PD is correct. So that's how we use this Shining app to review the data in oncology studies. Okay, so I'm going to post my paper and the R program to my GitHub account, and I will leave a link in the description for this video. If you think this video is helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. That will be a big encouragement for me to keep posting more similar videos. Thank you.